Welcome to A Call for Love. Today we're talking about the fourth agreement. So if you've been following along, we've been talking about the four agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, and the first one is be impeccable with your word. Then it's don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and today we're talking about always do your best. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, go back. Each one has a gem and they build on each other. It's really true. Today, you're going to really hold space for this concept of always do your best. I feel like we're really hard on ourselves today in this world that we're living in, that almost doing our best feels like more pressure. I know for me, I'm quite a perfectionist, and I've had to actually let go of always doing my best in terms of perfectionism. My new motto is done is better than not done, right? But this doesn't really have to talk about necessarily, for me, this is my interpretation of this book, effort. Because what it's really talking about for me is awareness, right? We're always doing the best we can with what we know in each moment. And the more aware we become in each moment, the better we can do our best. Now, it kind of goes back to the other agreement. So let's think about this for a moment. We are changing moment to moment, day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, week to week, month to month, year to year. We're never the same people, never ever. And thank goodness. I mean, I have some wonderful memories, but I do not want to go back. I want to move forward. And this awareness of always doing your best, it asks us to be more present in this moment with greater clarity. Now, sometimes, we wake up with low energy or we wake up with high energy. And so our best is going to change according to who we are in each moment. That's where self-compassion comes in, like being kind to ourselves with where we are in each moment. That's very, very important. And you can think about that in your own life, because it's very hard and unfair of ourselves to expect what we're not able to give. Now, this brings me to Wu Wei. If you've heard of Wu Wei, it's from a Taoist teaching, and it's from the Tao Te Ching, love, 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 written by Lao Tzu. And Wu Wei means really effortless action. So you could say, well, what does that mean? Effortless action means being true to your vibration, to who you are. It means living and working from the best place of presence, of really holding space so that you can allow your higher self to flow through you, that you could allow your divine to flow through you, source to flow through you. Because sometimes, and I am speaking for myself, I feel I know what's best for me. And so I push. I call it manic manifesting. Push. Well, that actually goes against effortless action. Because really, when you're in the divine flow, what happens is it happens very fluid, very beautifully, very naturally. And it's just like ping, 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 ping. Everything works out beautiful. Now, I want to refer to this book because I just have to share this. I have shared this with my clients and in some meditation classes, and it's worth listening to. This is a story, all right? There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering. So he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, "Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years." Thinking he could do better, the man then asked, "Oh, master, what if I meditated 8 hours a day? How long would it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 20 years. "But why? Why will it take me longer if I meditate more?" the man asked. The master replied, "You are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but you spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired, miss the point, and you won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy." So that's page 77 and 78 in the book, The Four Agreements. And really what this talks to is that when we push against the natural flow of things, our egoic mind is coming into play, and we're not allowing our higher self, the truth, to come through. We're kind of manipulating it. And that's what Wu Wei is. It's effortless action. For instance, I wanted to record this episode yesterday, and it just wasn't flowing. It was not a good day to record this episode. And I thought, I could force it and get it done because it was on my list of things to do. Or, I could practice Wu Wei, effortless action. I could give it the space it needed to come to life. And this is the gift. This is the gift of doing your best. It's knowing when we're in that awareness, to know when we're in the place to do the thing that we need to do. All right. Now, I love this quote from Leo Buscaglia. "Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with your gift is your gift back to God." And Leo Buscaglia was a great man and teacher from long ago. My mom loved him. But really what he was saying here is that we are given gifts. If we are not using our gifts, we're not thanking the person or the source that gave us our gifts. So the greatest way we can honor is to use our gifts. It's like a parent watches their child. To watch your child thrive with their gifts is like the greatest gift you could get back. It's the same kind of concept. So if we have the ability to do our best in a certain area of our life, then I would almost say it's our dharma to fulfill it, to do it, because then we're giving back. We're giving back the gift that we have been given. And it's honoring the divine spark within you. And when you honor that divine spark, you hold space for it, you become aware, and then you can do your best. Because doing your best in this terms means following the first 3 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. I had a book club, we had a meeting. When the lady said, "I do not like the word impeccable," it did not resonate with her. So she changed it to be mindful of your words. And that's what we're all asked to do, is we're asked to take these concepts and make them our own. And you shift them. Some things will resonate and some things won't. And it's all good. So she's replacing it with mindful. Be mindful of how you speak. And if you go back to episode 94, I talk about that. But the thing here is, take the time to find the space before you speak. Then you'll do your best. Doing your best is not taking things personally, because that's not reacting from our best selves. And then when we make assumptions, doing our best would be not to make assumptions and to ask questions, to be curious like that child I mentioned in the previous episode 96. All of them are really, I really enjoyed doing this whole series. And doing our best is like the ribbon. It's the ribbon. Now, what stops us from doing our best is the lack of freedom that we have, because what happens is we have these stories, these narratives, and he calls it, Don Miguel Ruiz, these agreements. And this is a story I want to share. It's on page 96 in the book. And we blame, right? I can't do my best because I'm tired. I can't do my best because I don't have enough money. I can't do my best because my partner isn't doing this. I can't do my best because my boss is this. I can't do my best. And we blame source, we blame ourselves, we blame others, and then we fall into that shadow space. But he says here, and I think it's quite profound, it's on page 96. What else could they teach you but what they know? He's talking about parents, our parents. They did the best they could, and if they abused you, it was due to their own domestication. Domestication being their socialization, their own fears, their own beliefs. They had no control over the programming they received, so they couldn't have behaved any differently, your parents. There's no need to blame your parents or anyone who abused you in your life, including yourself. But it is time to stop the abuse, right? Sometimes our hardest critic is ourselves, our inner critic. I know that to be a fact. And I just, that comes back to the awareness piece, being really aware of that inner dialogue. And he has 3 concepts here. When you blame, you fall into that space of victim, right? And when you're a victim, it's a really dark place to be, because you're really giving away your power. When you're in victimhood, you're giving away your power. You're kind of pointing the finger at every other circumstance, and not saying that it's not painful, and not saying that it was not terrible, but we're giving our power away. And he actually talks about the judge. The judge is the critic within us that has believed all the domestication, believed the patterns of our ancestors, believed the self-limiting beliefs, and we've actually made them agreements in our mind. And now we judge everything in our life and what we do and what we think from that internal programming, and that is the judge. And what happens here is that the judge is never satisfied and the victim is never free. It's that yin and the yang. They're always fighting each other. But when we're doing our best, we create the awareness of knowing when we're following our old programming, our self-limiting beliefs, our inner critic, that's the judge. When we're believing the patterns from our ancestors, we carry 7 generations before us. It trickles down. Generational wounds. When we do our best, we become aware of what we're holding on that was given to us. And when we become aware of that, we can set ourselves free. And of course, that involves some intentional work. But the point here is, through this awareness, we can know where we're doing the work, right? I said in the triggers for when we're taking things personally, when you're triggered, that's where an inner wound is. That's where the judge is. And when we soften and free that, then we can move into that freedom and we can let go of that victimhood. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz talks about this much more in depth. But the point here is that when we're always doing our best, we're always doing our best to be in the moment, to watch and notice our feelings, our thoughts, our reactions, our physical sensations. We are becoming like, the little bird looking down, bird's eye view. We become the bird's eye view of our own selves. And when we become the bird's eye view of our own selves, then we can notice what belongs to us and what we want to let go, right? We don't have to hold on to those things. And that's actually what I talk about in my program, Heal with Heart. Heal with Heart is about healing energy, those old stuck energies, to realign, recreate transformation. And when we do that, we can let go. We can peel away those layers that no longer serve us and come into our truest self. Because when we raise our consciousness, when we do our best, we help to raise the consciousness of those around us with integrity. Integrity for me means being honorable to everybody who has their own journey. Everyone, and I said this, I don't think people want to be miserable. I don't think people want to be mean. I think that they just get stuck in this habit and this dark energy. And the thing is that we can flip the switch through embodiment work, through emotional freedom, through, following these 4 agreements like this 4 podcast series was on this book club. And it's really exciting because when you're reading, there's so many amazing books out there, so much out into our world, reading, listening, hearing, everything like that. But the point is that it's all theory until we apply it. It's all theory. The closest way to turning theory into your best is by releasing, by recreating, and re-embodying our truest self, our truest nature. And that's my message here today. It was a really great book. I hope you had a chance to go back to listen to and watch, this is all on YouTube as well, the episodes of the 4 Agreements, this book club. It was a short but sweet deep dive into this book. And whatever resonates with you is what you're meant to hear. And whatever doesn't, just let it go, right? If we can if we can move one little step ahead of where we were before, that's all we can ask of ourselves, and feel grateful. Right? Because we're all on this journey. And the more we kind of take it lightly or lighter, the more we can hold space for everything that happens. And I tell you, I find that it's much easier to live my life. I'm going to speak for myself. When I go slow, when I have awareness, when I'm holding integrity, when I'm letting go of those self-limiting beliefs, when I'm doing that emotional freedom work, when I heal with heart, because the heart is the truest sense. They have that saying, the longest distance traveled is from the head to the heart. I know that when I follow my heart, that's my truest self, as opposed to when I follow my head. My head is not always pure. It's not that Wu Wei. The heart becomes the effortless action of Wu Wei, which I think is a really beautiful thing to find that flow. So friends, I want to thank you. Thank you for joining. You can listen to all the episodes and the recaps and all the journaling is in Soul Skool, my new community where we grow together, soul seekers, where we support. It's a community where we know we're not just our thoughts, we're not just our body, but we're the soul within. We're the deep meaning within. And because we're here to evolve, we're here to do our best, and with awareness, with kindness, and with compassion, courage, and clarity, right? To evolve, empower, and elevate our lives on all levels. And so that's what I wish for myself. That's what I wish for you. And that's what I wish for all beings, right? When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. All right? From my heart to yours, namaste, my dear friends.